blue jean baby, LA lady, seamstress for the band, pretty-eyed, pirate smile, you marry music man. Ballerina, you must have seen her dancing in the sand. Now she's in me, up with me, tiny dancer in my hand.
I've loved Elton John for as long as I can remember. I played piano, so he was always like the ultimate guy. Look at what you can do with the piano. And oh, what he can do with that piano still at the age of 72. I mean, he had these extended instrumental moments with his lead guitarist where he just, pounded at that piano for something like 5 minutes at one point. And I should mention that I also thought that his voice was still pretty strong, as our viewers could hear from that little clip of Tiny Dancer you played. He lost some of his upper register, which happens to a lot of older artists, but he kind of adjusted the songs to suit his voice. And just a consummate musician, a consummate performer. He performed for 2.5, almost 3 hours. There was no backup singers. He was on stage at basically 8:05 or 8:10, wow, which I have yet to see with a star of that stature.
Yeah.
And just the love he had for his audience was tangible in every moment of this show. After every song, he would go and bow to each side of the stage, get up from his piano, have a sip of water, and go back down. And also just the sheer catalog, right? The sheer number of hits he has that spans over 5 decades now, certainly since the 1970s, really, his biggest hits. You almost forget how many songs we have from Elton John that we love, and everybody has a memory. For some people, it's something they heard in their childhood or when they were in high school. Mm-hmm. You might link it to a movie like Tiny Dancer in that Almost Famous scene. Some people remember him from The Lion King. Just an incredible career, and really, it felt very special to be there in his second to last Canadian performance.
Or so he says. You never
or so
know.
he says.
Like Cher's like, it's my final tour.
He did say, I'm not like Cher.
This
I
is
love
real?
her. Yeah, he said, I love her clothes, but I'm not like her that way. This is for real, but he did joke that he's doing this, of course, to spend more time with his young family.
Right.
Him and his Canadian husband, David Furnish, have 2 young children. But he did say, maybe my kids will run out of money and pack old dad back on tour again. So always has a great sense of humor.
Change the weather. We'll tell us about a talk tonight, so stick around. You're gonna hear electric music, solid for the sound. Take me on around the cave, shooting you up, but the dollar face got Benny and a Jess. Oh, they were weird and wonderful. son. Better stay ready, you know. She's got electric boots, a boy suit, a reading in a magazine. Oh, oh, Benny and the Jets.
And I thought that the little stories he told in between songs about him and Bernie Taupin, his longtime, the man who writes the lyrics, Elton John writes the melodies, their collaboration, and a really unique 40, 50-year collaboration and friendship that has outlasted almost any other in music history. It was very touching, remembering them as young men, trying to sell their songs to whoever would sing them. It didn't even necessarily have to be him. And also I loved that there was a bit where he brought us into his process where he says, and I know a lot of songwriters, and this is actually quite unusual, he says, Bernie writes the lyrics first and gives it to him. And he reads these lyrics almost like an actor would read a screenplay. And then he says, I see what is the movie that unfolds in my mind. And then I compose almost a score to that movie, which is such a unique way of working out. Mostly people write a melody and then come up with lyrics to sort of match the melody. But clearly it works for them, and what a wonderful catalog of hits. And by the way, so much, I mean, I went to bed at around 2 last night, woke up around 6, and I kept on thinking, Elton is 72. Elton is 72.
You can do this.
You can do this. Because Elton is continuing his tour. It wraps up in late 2020 in London, one of the residences of him and David Furnish. And he's still got so many concerts left to go.
That is amazing. All right, Deanna, thank you.
Thank you.